Our next conversation tonight explores the toxic atmosphere at a workplace where you pay everyone's salary. It's the state capitol. Divisions among the Democrats who single-handedly run the place have led to resignations, retaliation against critics within the Democratic caucus, and accusations of racism and anti-Semitism. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger sat down today with House Speaker Julie McCluskey.
If this were a sports team, I'd be asking the coach, why are you letting this happen? So, Speaker, why are you letting this happen?
Marshall, I'm shocked by the question.
Democratic House Speaker Julie McCluskey has seen two Democratic lawmakers resign over a hostile work environment, and another, Representative Alex Valdez, call out the lack of diversity in committee chairmanship.
There were 4 individuals that very likely would have served in a chair position, but they were all running for outside races, either the mayor's race or the Denver City Council race, and declined to take any leadership position.
The 4 she referred to are Valdez, who briefly ran for Denver mayor, Representative Leslie Herod, who also ran for mayor, Serena Gonzalez-Gutierrez, who ran for city council, and Adrian Benavides, who resigned before last year's session started.
It would be highly unusual for me to remove a chair of a committee who is performing successfully, meeting expectations after 1 year of their term, and replace them with someone who has now become available to serve in that role.
McCluskey did make a committee change last month, removing Elizabeth Epps and Bob Marshall from the Judiciary Committee. The two sued leadership last year, claiming both parties made legislative decisions out of the public's view. Most recently, Epps joined protesters in support of Palestinians in the House gallery and disrupted another lawmaker's speech. So I asked about making those changes to the committee lineup.
I would point to, for the Judiciary Committee, the overall interpersonal interactions with members of that committee, and my desire to make sure that we are able to achieve our policy agenda with the appointments I have made.
As lawmakers are set to return, what is the Speaker doing to resolve concerns about behavior and toxicity?
We have talked about our workplace expectations policy. We have talked about our workplace harassment policy. We are currently working on a tool to help members better understand specifically what behaviors may fall in or out of those policies.
I also asked about the lawsuit we showed viewers yesterday from Republican Representative Scott Bottoms about not being recognized at the well and the microphone and not having a bill read aloud when that's what he wanted. McCluskey would not speak to that lawsuit yet, but took exception with a delay of a helpful tax credit through this legal effort. We'll also hear from Senate President Steve Fenberg a little later in the show about in the policy section. But first, we had to get through this environment and the hostile environment section before we could talk about what policies they might want to work on this year.
Yeah, it's not a typical thing to have a bunch of elected or appointed representatives running for the exits before a session starts. If the problem is journalists asking about it, we could be in for a pretty long session.
It's interesting, the Democrats have a divide internally, so do the Republicans, but the Democratic leadership are getting it from both sides, from fighting with Republicans and fighting with the progressive Democrats in a way that we don't see the fight on the Republican side.
Guys, why is your house on fire? How dare you ask? It's a lovely house. Yeah, Marshall, thank you.